Alright, welcome back to Untitled Gaming. So today we're gonna be working on the Nissan Skyline again. Hopefully we can get everything done. I mean, most of the suspension is gonna be pretty easy, but the thing we got left, I think, is to rebuild the front shocks. Finish putting all the bushings, bearings, wheel cap, basically everything for the front end. Mainly, like, we gotta put bearings and bushings and all that. Shouldn't matter too much. Once we get all those, I believe, in place, then we should be okay. It's not gonna be technically too hard to do. We're gonna have to, basically go through this list that I have, kind of. But again, I think you're gonna need bearings because I think it's a rear-wheel drive too. If I do remember correctly. Which is fine. I just gotta make sure that I have the right parts for what we're working on. Yep. Make sure we also get the exhaust done. I mean, there's just so much to do. But we're slowly getting there. We just don't have the front piece for it like I want, but we're just gonna have to do what we can do, but I think we should be able to get the front piece done. Should be able to. Not saying that, everybody's gonna have it in stock, but on the performance side, but which I don't think they will, but I gotta make sure which one I gotta get. Alright, yeah, no, I don't have that one. Dang it. Nope, I don't have either one of those, I don't think, because I think there's a turbo version of this motor. And I know they don't have the turbo version. So I guess they probably wouldn't have, well, it kind of makes sense that they would have it, but I guess not. I don't know. We'll just have to make sure we get the right one, and I think there's like a non-turbo and then a turbo. So we went for, I think I bought the turbo pipe when we're supposed to buy the regular pipe. Is that what I did? I think that's what I did. I keep forgetting there's like two different versions. So I'm used to having the turbo version, but we don't have that in this one, so. At least like for customer orders, because that's the one that it always was, so I was like, okay. Well then, I guess I just should have double checked. Yeah, probably gonna do some brake lathing if I have anything. I have no idea what parts I have for that. I don't think I have those though. I don't know, if I do. Oh, I guess I had all of them. Never knew that. 'Cause it looked like everything was bad underneath there. When I was going through it, I'm like, this is gonna be very, very expensive. At least just for the brakes and that. But I guess it wasn't that expensive. Man, I would have liked it if it would have been. A little bit more easier to get certain parts to repair. Like, we had to rebuild the motor basically from scratch. I mean, we had the block and that, but I didn't have anything else really for it. But hopefully we can get it to do what we gotta do. Suspension's mostly gonna be done once we get the brakes and all that, because I think the only thing I got left to do is get the wheels and tires set, basically put them together, or find out how many rims I gotta buy. And then we'll have to buy the tires and do all that, but that shouldn't take us too long. That'll take a couple minutes, and then once that's done, everything can go ahead, because then we have the wheels put back on it, which are gonna be probably the same rims that came on it. I believe is what we're gonna try to use. I think we were missing a tire. I could be wrong though. And if we were missing a tire, that means that we're just gonna have to buy rim and tire regardless. Could be wrong though. But, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but even if we are missing one, you know, might as well just get it all together and get its main brake system done, which is what I'm trying to do. And then I'm gonna put the wheels together, but I want to get everything suspension wise done first, so that all we got left to do is put the wheels on, put the body panels on, and then just deal with a little bit of interior that it has, which is like a couple front seats and a steering wheel. So that shouldn't be too hard. I think I'm gonna have to buy 4 of them. Do you believe so? I don't think I've managed to repair any of them, so. Oh well, I mean, can't repair everything on this car, but at least we gave it a shot. But yeah. Oh, I think there might have been too bad where I couldn't repair them. I think that was what the issue was. Just gotta make sure we get the shocks, but hopefully we can put it together without the shocks. At least get to that point to where all you got left to do is put the wheels on. It sounds easier said than done, but we're gonna make sure that we can do it. And we still have all the bushings to put on, including in the rear, because that thing's gonna take a lot of bushings. But you know, the way I figure it is, let's build it as far as we can without them. That's what I'm figuring we can do. Which, mostly it'll be put together, and all we gotta do is put the shocks on, and then put the sway bar end links on, and then should be able to put the wheels and tires on. I mean, we're not doing too bad. That's the only thing we got left to do. That's doing pretty good. I'm about to go and buy the parts so that I can assemble them here in a minute. Nope, I ain't got. Man, how does everything get turned up broken? Man, this front end was more damaged than I thought. Man, it's pretty bad. Well, at least I had a wheel hub. There we go. Now we just gotta put the bearing and yep, so cap, and make sure we get all the brakes on, and then we can either work on the back end, or we could put wheels and tires together real quick and then get everything balanced and get that job done. Yeah, might as well work on the wheels and tires, I think. And then also get the shocks together as well. Man, I've already bought the parts, I just had to put them together. Which again, that's not still, you know, I just didn't think about doing it right at that time. And then we'll put the wheels and tires, get all that, mounting all of those, and then I think we're gonna have to do a wheel alignment no matter what we do, though. Cause just the way the rims look, or no, just the way the wheels and all that were looking when it came in, they weren't sitting too right. Alright, get the right rim first. Probably have to double check and make sure I get the right rim, at least in the right size, and then we should be good to go. Get the tire size, and then make sure everything's at least matching the car. Alright, let's get over to the tires so we can buy those. Should we, you know, get the rims and all that bought? We should be okay. We should be okay. I know it's getting there. I never thought that we would get it this far. Man. Start, you know, kind of run low on funds. I think we won't. We should have enough to maybe paint it. I know we still gotta probably, you know, fix everything with the frame and all that. But I mean, we got all the motor and all that put back together. That was quite a pain. That was, I never thought it would be that bad to do anything like that. Alright. Nope. Found out that I got the wrong size. Oh, it's the right size, but it's the wrong width. So, we'll have to make sure that we can correct that problem before I put it all the way back together. I'm glad we found out that that was a problem before I put everything together. So, at least it's a good thing. But, you know, I wrote down the sizes, but, you know, make sure we get everything mounted. I mean, that's pretty much all it is all we gotta do. You know, after we get them all mounted together, is just balance them, which shouldn't take us too long. There we go. Okay, that one's all balanced. That should be good to go. But, you know, you just gotta make sure that you get everything just right. You know, which is what I was trying to do, because I didn't want to end up, you know, buying the wrong size and then being stuck with some wheels that I can't use because I bought the wrong size, you know. But, you know, best to double check now before I get them all together, and then I discover they're the wrong width, you know. Glad I caught the problem now. So now we can go ahead and put them together. And then once everything's together, be pretty good to go down and get it balanced at least. Once everything gets, you know, aligned and everything else, I think we'll be doing pretty good. It's just gonna take a minute to get to that point, but because all we gotta do after we rebuild the front is rebuild the whole back end suspension, get a transmission, the exhaust, and the interior done, which I'm okay with. It's just still, it just takes a minute to get everything done. But yeah, we'll get all this stuff together, mounted and balanced. I think once we get everything, you know, wheel balance and we get it, you know, aligned again, that'll be good. Because then we know it's gonna be tracking straight, whether, as it might not be tracking straight now, we'll never know, but we hope they are. But I've been known to be wrong before, and usually you want to make sure everything is aligned. So like if you're going down the speed course, or heck, even the speed track, you know, then you can actually know that you can actually hold it rather than it trying to fight you all the time. But, you know, that's just me. All we got left to do is put the end link on, and this side's finished. Oh, no, you know, I gotta probably end up buying a couple end links, and then front end will be 100% finished and fixed, which is a good sign. It's always a good sign when if you forget that, then you know at least you're doing, you know, something right. You shouldn't forget anything, but, you know. You gotta make sure, you know, you get everything back together. There we go. Starting to look pretty good. Getting the wheels back on it now. Feels like we're getting kind of close to being done. And then we'll finish the exhaust as we make our way probably to the rear end. I believe that would be probably the easiest way to do it. Is just put the exhaust together as we go towards the rear end, and then everything would be, you know, at least for the exhaust would be finished at that point. And then after that, all there is we'll have to dyno it probably, of course. At least see what our horsepower is. I know it's probably more than it was stock. I mean, that's kind of why we went with some a little bit different tires. Went with some sports tires, but I don't think that's originally what came on it. But I just thought we might as well put some sports tires on it. Figuring that might help with the horsepower that might, you know, that it might be making. It's making the horsepower that I think it is. It's going to be pretty hard to drive it straight. Because one little touch of the steering wheel and it's going to go, you know, either way, it's not going to be pretty fun. Well, should be fun, but I don't think it will be. Because we're going to be fighting it probably the whole time to hold it straight, but then again, I've been wrong before, so we hope everything, you know, goes together and record time for at least the rear end, and then we'll know for certain what we got to do. It's kind of like, you know, you just gotta wait and see, but we're definitely gonna have to buy bushings though. That's for sure. I know that for a fact. Right now we're gonna need more bushings. We're also gonna need rear shocks. I know that too. We need a lot of parts. Yeah, we'll buy some small rubber bushings too. I don't know how many smalls I'm gonna need, so I might as well buy as many as I do the other bushings. Because I know that's gonna probably end up taking a small rubber bushing at some point. After we, you know, buy the parts. Because we're missing a lot of them. Or they just didn't manage to repair. But, you know, it's better to get it done now. Alright. So that'll be done. Then there should be a small rubber bushing for the bottom. I do believe that's what it was. Then there was another arm. I'm trying to remember on these reruns off the top of my head. There's just a lot to them. You gotta make sure you get right. Alright. And then we'll probably have to get the end links for the rear as well. Unless I've already bought them. But either way, the only thing after we get done with all the suspension is make sure the fuel tank and pump are put in, and then finish the exhaust for the under, and maybe connect the dry shaft if we have one, or buy one. I'm not sure what we're gonna have to do for that. I don't know, because I don't remember if we have a dry shaft or not, but we'll find out real quick. Alright, see what else I need. Yep, go ahead and buy the rear shock. Once those get bought, then, you know, be one step closer to getting this thing finished. Alright, at least that's in. And then all we gotta do is make sure we get all the rear springs and caps. It's just kind of weird how we gotta get everything like that. You know, put in, but you always gotta change the camera angle to get certain parts. It's just kind of weird to me. But we'll make sure we get it. We'll get it done, get it assembled. That'll be that. The only thing we gotta do is gotta make sure we get, you know, the rear wheel hub in, you know, and then just build out your brakes and then put the wheels on. Because I believe everything is done on this side. It's just the other side that I think we're gonna end up having to buy everything for. And including a drive axle, probably. I just happen to forget this is rear wheel drive, so it's got drive axles. Don't it? Dang it! We're gonna have to make sure we get those too. But I know I have all the brake stuff, so at least figure it out. Alright. Then all we gotta do is put the rear wheel on. That's pretty much all we got left to do at that point. So that should be good. Alright, let's see what we can, if we can get everything finished, like wheels and whatnot. The only thing we have left to do is finish up the rest of the suspension on the other side. Roughly be my guess. And then put the wheels on, and then once everything is together, then it'll be, you know, all done. Besides, like, probably a fuel tank, fuel pump, and exhaust, and whatever little odd and ends, like the interior, getting the body cleaned. So I have to take it over to the power washer, at least get it all nice and clean. And then after all that's done, paint this thing. We're gonna just leave the rims alone. We ain't gonna paint the rims. Usually I would think about it, but in this case I don't really want to, you know, think with that. I'd rather just, you know, paint the main body and make that look good, nice and decent, you know, get all that. Because if you leave any little bit of dirt and you go to paint over it, it's gonna be in the paint, you know, it's not gonna look as good. So that would be what we would have to do probably after all, like this, if we get all the suspension and all that done, you know, exhaust, and we can also throw the interior in too. I think it has some, but we'll just have to, you know, get them out, replace them with some new ones, or do something. Maybe send them out to get reupholstered, we don't know. But as long as we can get, I mean, most of the parts we can get, so should be fine. It's just really trying to get all the suspension back together. That's gonna be the challenge, because I don't remember what we all got, what we don't have. Looking at the list, I mean, the list just seems to get bigger. I mean, you would think it would get smaller, but it kind of is. But it's just once you get going, it's like, yeah, this should be good, should not be good. It's always, you know, trying to figure it out. But there's not really a lot to this. We're just gonna make sure we get a drive axle. I believe that's what we needed for the rear. We're probably gonna end up needing a bearing of some sort. Maybe even a wheel hub, something like that. We could need all those parts, but I'm just trying to think off the top of my head while looking at this list what I need. It's working out pretty good. I mean, we're getting most of it. Once all that is done, then the other thing we got left to do is the exhaust on the bottom side and the fuel tank and pump. That's pretty much once the suspension is done, which is fine. We'll put in the fuel tank, and then I got a performance pump we'll throw in it. So that's part at least will be done. So I mean, we're getting closer. It's like every little thing that you do here, you know, you seem to be getting closer and closer. Kind of what I was hoping that we'd be, you know, pretty close to being done, but you know, which we are. It's just it seems like I need to work out my bolting and all that on this, because it just seems to take forever sometimes. But we'll make sure we work on that, get that at least, and maybe upgrade the paint shop too at some point. But I believe we have the color that I want to paint this, which is good. Gotta think, did I buy a performance pump? When I bought the performance fuel filter, think I did. Can't remember now. Probably not. It's gonna be the answer. At least that's what I think. But I could be wrong. You never know. I mean, did I not, you know? But, you know, the more we get done, it'll be done, and you move on to the next car. Just gotta remember what I gotta get. We gotta get the exhaust, cause I believe I got the pump, so then I gotta just finish the exhaust, get all the exhaust, fuel system sorted out, and then just interior, and then put the body together. That's mainly all we got left. Which, I mean, it's not that bad that we have all that loose left, but we got it mostly back together. I mean, you know, getting the exhaust, that should be a couple seconds. That should be, you know, put together. And once you get all the suspension done, because, you know, then that's pretty basic, really it. You know, once all those are done, then it's just interior and body work. We'll probably work on the body work first. In my opinion, that's how I want to do it, is work on the body first, get all that done. Then we'll do the interior. Because the interior, I think, on these are going to be pretty simple, from what I remember. I might have to add a dry shift, I think, too. That might help. Dry shafts sometimes help. It's the only thing I think I forgot to bolt on. But if that's the only thing I forget to bolt on, then, you know, then I did good. Because this list was pretty long. But there's like 2 pages of paper that it took to make a list for this vehicle, so maybe we'll go. If I think there might be a body tuning part for this too. I'm trying to remember. That would be what I want to do, is, you know, do as much body work as we can. I don't know. It's kind of getting there, though. I mean, it's just clean up the body, you know, put all the body parts on, because I think we're going to have to buy them all. And then once all that's done, we should be good to go. But I'm going to put all the tuning body parts on it, I believe. Alright, got that to go, and then the only thing we gotta do is put, I think, plates on it. That'd be the only thing I have to do. Besides, like, buying, like, doors and fenders from the regular shop. That's really all there is left. You know, which isn't too bad. I mean, we still gotta buy all the glass, of course, because, you know, it just is what it is. And then the only thing I got left after we get all these body panels and all that back on is the interior. That'll take a couple seconds. And then after that, it's off to get washed. It needs to get all the dirt off of it. Alright, let's see if we pull that bumper off. I don't know. It's just something about that other bumper that really looked pretty good. I mean, I've been watching videos on other people build these too, so it's very, very weird for me to get it all done, but I'm just trying to think of all the stuff I'm gonna need. That's my problem, is I make lists and then I gotta try to figure out what I need. But we'll get there. And then once that's all done and it gets all done with the body, and, you know, me just thinking about all the parts that's gonna take is it's quite an undertaking for this car, because I don't remember it having any body parts to speak of. Alright, let's put some license plates on it. Yeah, it's like that's pretty much it. You know, once you get all the body parts, you know, kind of figured out, and you know, that whole thing, it's gonna be like, let's put parts on it, let's make it look nice and paint it, you know. But I mean, it's just gonna be costly. It's a costly thing to do. But other than that, we should be fine. Because who knows, I don't think there's much. I'm trying to remember. I don't think there is much to the interior on this one. I think there's just a seat in there. I don't even think there was a steering wheel when I last checked, but it's gonna be interesting to get it repaired. Alright. I mean, it's gonna look pretty good once you know, get the body panels on, get all the dirt off, you know. It'll look really, really, really good. And it's just trying to get it to that state, you know, like where everything's gonna be good. But it's just, I don't know. You know, once you get everything, seems like it takes forever to get everything figured out. Like, do I want to go with the stock bumper in the back, or do I want, you know, stuff like that? But I don't know. I just like the body tuning options usually for certain cars. Like this car in particular, I liked it. Like the different bumpers and lights and stuff. I don't know. It's just something about the stock ones that, you know, it's like I've seen them everywhere before, but you know, when you put aftermarket parts onto them, you know, then I'm kind of okay with it. But it's just getting to that point. But it looks pretty good. It's gonna look pretty good. We're just gonna have to make sure that we get a good wash on it before I put any paint on it. And then I believe it will be hundreds across the board for this car once we get, you know, like license plates and like I say, the interior. That's about the only two things holding us back besides it getting an actual wash. So I'll have to send it over, you know, get it all pressure washed off, and you know, get all that dirt, because that dirt's gonna be stubborn. That's really the only thing holding us back, probably. At this point, that's really the only thing that's gonna hold you back any, is, you know, it's gonna be dirt. But once we get license plates on, that means that the body is 100% done. And you know, finish, you know, putting that on. Then once we get it over to the pressure washer, we'll make sure that after we get it out of the pressure washer, that we get the interior in, and then we'll paint it, and then it'll be 100%. It'll be 100% car, which is good. So that's always a good thing, you know. It always takes a minute, you know. It seems like it, in my mind, it always takes me a minute to figure out what I want to do with it. Do I want it, you know, to look like a street race car, or do I just want to, you know, redo it to like where it's, you know, 100% original? And this one I decided to go all out. So, I mean, I just figured, why not? Let's go all out. It's the first one that we did that I went all out on. We just gotta make sure to get the front license plate on, because I know I got the rear license plate on. I just gotta make sure to get the front one on, and then the only other thing after that is send it over, get washed, put the interior in, and then paint. Or we can paint it before we do it. That way it doesn't really matter either way. I'm just saying that we're still, either way we go, we're gonna have to wash the dirt off. Yeah, we can do that. It's just a lot of it. I was sitting in the junkyard. That's where I got this one from. Alright, let's see what it looks like once it gets all the dirt off. Not too bad. Make sure to also do the interior. Make sure everything gets, you know, a good wash. And then once everything is done, we'll double check it again. Make sure that I got all the dirt. Oh, okay. So that's not too bad. It should be done, roughly. It'll be done. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't think I can open it when it's here. I think I have to move it to do that. Alright. We'll make sure we move it so I can open the door. That's all I gotta do. Though, either way, it doesn't matter. I just gotta get the interior done. Like, I think that's the only thing, is there's only a front seat in there. Yep. We'll take the front seat out, or the only remaining front seat. Pull that, we'll get the interior. I believe this has a bench seat in the back. I could be wrong, but I've been wrong, but I believe there is, so I'll have to double check on that. Because if there is, then I'll have to make sure I buy it and put it in there. Alright, let's see. I know what we're gonna need for the front seats, but for the bench, I don't know if there is one, so I just double make sure that there isn't one. Is there? There might be. Yep, there is. Alright, now that that's done, we'll buy the front seats so we can kind of match it. We're just gonna go, you know, we're gonna go with the same make of seat, but we're just gonna make sure that's a different color so that it matches. And we'll just have to buy a steering wheel once all that's done. And should be good to go after that. And then we'll get it in paint. And then we'll take it out for test drive after we get it all painted and situated. But I'm not sure what color I want to paint it yet. But I have a few ideas in mind. Alright. Well, yeah, make sure we get the steering wheel in. Get the other front seat in, and then get the bench seat in. And then it's good to go now. Everything's done. It is 100%. Oh, it's gonna be worth probably gonna be worth a pretty penny. Yep, send it off to get painted. That's the only thing we got left to do. We'll see if they got the color I'm thinking of. If they don't, then I'll have to kind of come up with it. Oh, they kind of do down there. I don't think we're gonna mess with it too much. That's too much. That's too much. I think it's gonna be too much. Okay, that's not right there. We'll go with that. Get it painted that nice, almost like a sky. It's almost like it reminds me of a sky blue, but I don't think that's what that is. But I could be wrong. Now let's we have to get. I think we gotta give it a wheel alignment and adjust the headlights. Once we get those two things done, then we'll take it out for a drive. Because if I don't get the wheels adjusted just right, you ain't gonna be going straight at all. That's gonna be a pain. There. That's done. That's good. It's gonna look really, really good. Now everything's pretty much finished. Oh man, and then you just gotta, like I said, the wheel alignment went good. Now we just gotta adjust the headlights, and then once all that adjustments are done, and everything's, you know, aligned and where it needs to be, then we'll take it out for that test drive. But alright, there we go. Now it's time for a test drive. I mean, it's worth a lot. Making sure I put every single thing on that I had to. Now we have to move the car back to the front of the garage because I gotta take some screenshots. I believe I will of this particular car because it looks really, really good. I forgot the dyno it though, so I'm gonna mess a little bit with the dyno, and then we can go. We'll see if we can get it where I want to get it. As far as horsepower, shouldn't be that hard. That ain't what I wanted. There we go. There. Let's take it out for a ride. I think it'll perform pretty good if we take it out for a ride. Should go for a ride pretty easy. Should at least hopefully hold straight. But then again, as much horsepower as it's putting down, probably not. It's putting down a heck of a lot of horsepower. So we'll have to wait and see how that thing does. But once we get everything, like I said, done, hopefully this test drive goes good. Everything should. I don't see it going wrong, but it could. It could go wrong, but I don't see it going wrong. But once we get it out to where it's gotta go and test it, then once we go back to the shop, I think we'll just sell it. And then I've already got another project lined up for us, so I think it's safe to say we're gonna start flipping cars. And the only reason why I want to flip them, at least in this game, is because it's just easier than doing repairs all the time. But that also means that everything I get from the junkyard is probably gonna be trashed. So, you know, there's your, you know, ups and downs, I guess, of it. It's like everything you get from the junkyard, you know, you're gonna have to put a lot of money into. But on the bright side, it could be worth a lot of money, you know, once you get all the rust and all that off of it. And that's kind of the part I like, is, you know, taking something that looks like, you know, it belongs at a junkyard and getting it out of the junkyard and actually, you know, making it look good. But that's just how I like to do it. I mean, other people like to go to auctions and all that all the time. I don't. Okay, ooh. Now, let's see what we can do. If we can get it to go straight. Nope. It went off a little. Nope. No, I gotta try to correct that. It's not gonna go straight. I don't think so. It's gonna be a pain to get this thing to go straight. You almost just gotta lock the steering wheel in place and just kinda hope that it stays straight. That's what I'm thinking. Because, I mean, there's no way I can get it to stay straight. There's just no way. I mean, it'll go in reverse and all that just fine. It's just when you start to go forward, it gets all squirrely. And I wasn't even holding the trigger all the way down on The controller, like, I just barely had it. Just barely had it on. I guess we'll just have to baby it. Because it gets pretty... It's like the whole rear end slides out from underneath you. It's basically a drift car at this point. Like, I don't know how I did that, but... Yeah, it's almost undrivable, at least for me. Because I can't get it to stay straight. Whoever buys this is gonna have probably more fun in it than I will. But that's usually how it goes. It just took me forever to get it bought and get it where it's gotta go. I mean, I'm trying to hold the thing straight and it's fighting me every step of the way. I mean, every step of the way. I don't know. It might. See if we can get it to go. I don't know. It's like you barely pull it, and it's just really, really sensitive. But it is also making a heck of a lot of horsepower too, so. Like, there's 200. I mean, it's... I just had to set basically the controller down and just, you know, jam something behind it to kind of pull the trigger. That's how I got it to stay straight. Yeah, well, as straight as it can. Oh man, that's pretty fast. I don't think I could ever build anything to beat that. That's a heck of a lot of speed. Oh yeah, it's pretty fast, I think. It's too fast. I'll have to just make sure that, you know, we get it all washed back off once we get it back to the shop. That's pretty much it. But other than that, I mean, it drove fine. It was just hard to keep it straight though. But I guess if you're gonna use it for drifting or whatever everybody else wants to do or likes to do with them, it'll probably be fine. But I couldn't hold it no more. So, it's pretty okay. We'll get to it, you know, once we get it back to the shop. We're just gonna sell. We're just gonna have to put it for sale and see who wants to buy this thing. Because it's crazy horsepower wise. I mean, the numbers that it came up with on that dyno were pretty scary. And I only adjusted the final drive gear. I never really adjusted the first gear. Which tells me if I would have adjusted the first gear a little bit more, it wouldn't have had as much lag, I think, in it. To where it wouldn't want to, you know, the whole rear end wouldn't want to slide out on you. That's just what I'm thinking, but I could be wrong. But the whole thing wants to, you know, kick out from underneath you. So the things that I don't really like about roller drives is, at least in video games, because they always want to slide, the rear end wants to slide out from behind you. But I guess if you knew that it was going to do that, I guess you could kind of counter it. I guess. As always, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.